A series of tweets from the United Conservative Party's communications chair is drawing attention online. Sonia Kont criticized the women's marches that took place around the world this weekend. On Twitter, she said ideological marches like the one in Washington, does not empower women. Last time I checked, we all had the same rights in society. She also added the march had no clear purpose. Organizers of the march in Edmonton, which saw more than 1,000 people attend, say they're extremely disappointed with her comments.
The purpose of our march is to draw people together and to try to work together and to work together towards these goals. And I think statements like that are divisive. Like, we've emphasized that our event is nonpartisan. We invited all MPs and all MLAs in Alberta to attend, and the fact that there was no one there from the official opposition, we found that to be quite disappointing.
Kont's tweet has generated a string of reaction on Twitter.
And Slav Kornick joins us now in the studio with more on that.
Yes, not a major surprise. Sonia Kont's tweet is unpopular among some people. She acknowledged as much in her initial tweet. Here's some of the reaction we've seen on Twitter to her tweet. Status of Women Minister Stephanie McLean tweeting, empowered women empower women. I don't think Sonia and UCP ever checked. Last I checked, there's a pay gap. Women are mainly responsible for childcare. Women only 7% of corporate boards. Domestic violence is killing women. Same? I don't think so. Dave Cornier tweeting, unpopular opinions, spend less time arguing with people on Twitter and more time talking with people face to face. You'll probably find it more fulfilling to share ideas in person, and you'll likely discover you have more in common than not. Kathleen Smith, also known as Kiki Planet on Twitter, tweets, I'm constantly surprised that some conservative women think full equality is a leftist plot, while they ignore that this leftist plot is what gave them the right to even hold that opinion in the first place. There is support for Kont's tweet. UCP board member Bettina Pierre-Gill tweets, I couldn't agree more with Sonia. I'm a proud advocate for women and working our way to the top. These marches indeed only send a message that only the loudest few can be heard, while nothing is advocated on policies. UCP leader Jason Kenney is standing by his member. In a tweet last night, Kenney wrote he's proud that United Conservatives have so many strong, outspoken women as members. He added that the UCP doesn't force conformity. We do have an online version of this story on our website. You can go to globalnews.ca/Edmonton to have a read.
On Sonia Kont's Twitter feed, there was this story that was retweeted by Dwayne Choman. And he said, well, this is kind of interesting. They use it as a jumping off point to go into this story. The article quotes one person complaining about Sonia Kont's position and then gratuitously buttresses it with a second person holding the same view as the first. Was Ms. Kont approached for a comment? The article doesn't say. Well, then Sonia responded, strange. Yeah, they never contacted me for a comment. So I thought, well, heck, since it's created such tizzy all over the place, I thought I would contact her for a comment. She joins me now to talk about it. Sonia, thanks so much for being with me.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Happy to be on.
So let's talk about why it is you waded in on this issue. First of all, why didn't you want to attend a women's march?
Just to start things off, this was my individual opinion. Yes, I have the communications chairs for the UCP, but I was speaking on my behalf. A lot of my reasons kind of overlap with yours, Danielle. I think you look at why these marches kind of existed, especially in the United States, in Washington. It's very ideological. It's more of an anti-Trump rally and march than anything else. The other thing is, I don't think it's open or inclusive to conservative women. I mean, I've contacted some of the folks that were organizing the march, and, I asked, have you guys invited the pro-lifers or conservative-leaning groups that would also participate in this march? I didn't really get a response. I think the bigger issue is that I didn't quite understand why I was bullied and attacked on Twitter over the weekend for saying, hey, I don't believe in women's marches. For those that go, good for you. But I don't think it really empowers me as a conservative female to march on these things because it's not very welcoming.
What did? Let's go back. I'm just going through your feed right now to find out exactly what you said that got everybody so upset. It looks like you retweeted Global. It says at least 38 communities across Canada are hosting women's marches and events today. And then you said, unpopular opinion, these ideological marches like the one in Washington does not empower women. Last time I checked, we all had the same rights in society. So what kind of reaction did you get when that got posted out? It looks like it got tweeted, retweeted, and actually liked quite a number of times.
Yes, mostly very negative responses. I think if you look through it, very negative. And most of those were from the left, of course, being that I'm a conservative. I did not receive any negative feedback from folks from my own party and members from the UCP. Some of them, thanked me for speaking up. And I know there's a few that actually donated to the party. They mentioned that it's important that, members on our party have their own opinion. It's okay to be, diverse. Not everybody's going to agree with the Women's March. And I know we had a few folks from the UCP that attended this march, and, good for them. They're allowed. We're not a uniform party. We're very diverse. We're a Big Tent party. And this is why I'm part of the UCP. We encourage that. We encourage diversity.
So you've also said, I'm all for democratic protests and marches, but this one has no clarity of purpose. I don't know what the purpose of the ones in Canada was. I
really don't know either. I mean, you look at the States, it's pretty clear. It's very anti-Trump. It's very ideological. In Canada, I'm not too sure. I'm not really sure what we're really advocating for. Look, I'm blessed to be in Canada, especially in Alberta. I'm very blessed that I can say anything I want in a respectful manner, of course. I know what oppression is. I'm from the Middle East. I'm Kurdish. I've experienced that for, a decade living and growing up there. But, when I come to Canada, when the left says, come in this march, we're going to march for women's rights, I'm not sure what women's rights we don't have. I see myself as equal as any other person in the society.
Do you think that there are things that women collectively should be focusing on? I mean, I often share stories about what's happening in other countries about women's struggle for the same rights that we enjoy. Am I missing something? Is there something that we collectively as women should be getting together on and using our collective voice for? What do you think?
Absolutely. I think the other thing that really bothered me with these marches, there's no mention of what's happening in Iran with the brave Iranian women who are, fighting for their lives. They're risking it, to get freedom, what we have. And, even where I'm from in eastern Turkey, where we have Kurdish female fighters that are also risking their lives to get freedom. I think we have an opportunity in Alberta and Canada as a woman to set the bar high. I think we should speak out against the governments in the Middle East with what they're doing to women. So that's one of the things. I think we should have a lot more action than words. I don't think going on the street saying, yes, we all need to be equal, we all need to be paid the same does much. I think it has to be through a lot of actions.
Were you surprised when the Service Alberta and Status of Women Minister weighed in on your opinion?
Absolutely not. I think I'm really used to it now with, my own MLA and the Minister of Infrastructure that won't be named that constantly bully and attack young conservative women online because they have a different opinion. That, to me, is not women empowerment. Look, we're in a free society, and I can speak my own mind about issues and events such as the march. With the Minister of Status of Women and her comment about, the gender gap, I mean, I have my own personal opinion on that, and I would encourage the government and the minister herself to really do a lot more research on the topic before just coming up with a general statement saying that, females and males should be paid the same. In a perfect world, that'd be awesome, but, there's many different factors that go into that, such as education and experience.
Sonia, are you going to be quiet now that you've been dogpiled this way?
Absolutely not. You know, I have the right to speak my own opinion and be vocal. I have so many wonderful women in our party, in the UCP, that inspire me. I've been very encouraged to be very independent in what I believe in, and I will not be stopping. I will not be quiet.
Sonia, thank you so much for your time today and for explaining your side.
Thank you so much, Danielle.
You got it. That's Sonia Kont, private citizen, who also happens to be communications chair of the United Conservative Party, but she's also a proud Albertan and Kurd. She's a mountain climber. She's a passionate volunteer. She's a University of Calgary alumni. See, we all wear a lot of different hats. And guess what? We all don't have to agree on the same things all of the time, right? That's what you're supposed to have in a free and democratic society. We got time for calls. 403